everybody. Welcome to Neon City Daily. I'm Jamie.
I'm Josh.
I'm Brody.
And I'm still Dave.
And introducing Brody.
Yeah, Brody. So Brody,
Hey, what's up?
we've invited Brody on to have a chat with us. So a bit of background. Brody and I, geez, how long have we known each other? Since kindergarten, literally.
Kindergarten, yeah, literally. I think you were the first person I spoke to when we got to kindergarten. So
Yeah.
It's been quite a while.
I think our parents were in the hospital together too.
Probably.
Yeah.
That sounds like I remember them speaking.
Because you're about
that
5
point.
days, born 5 days after me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, February bumps. That's it.
Sorry, I'm just doing math in my head. Yeah, 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've always played games together, and
Yeah.
particularly through primary school and high school. Mostly at your house because I didn't have anything but a SNES for a while there, but
We did get on the PCs down in the dungeon at your place quite a bit as well. I remember playing a fair bit of StarCraft and stuff down in there back in the day.
StarCraft, and I'm trying to remember, there was a game, it was a flight simulator, but it wasn't the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it was a military jet that you were flying, and I think it was DOS-based or early Windows, but I just thought of that the other day.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I did the clearest memory I have was just Twinson's Odyssey on your birthday, like playing.
Yeah, but we got like
hell
20
out of
minutes in
that.
and got stuck
Yeah,
for longer than anyone would like to
embarrassingly
admit. Yeah. Like it was literally at the start, I think you had to get into a house.
yeah, to steal the tunic.
Yeah. And I don't want to guesstimate how long we were trying for, but I just remember it being a long time.
Yeah, it was a really long time.
And I think I'm trying to make it sound less worse for us, but I think at that time, that was, for me anyway, it was like one of the first really immersive games that I'd played.
Yeah.
That was quite, you can do this? I've never done this in a video game before. Long story short, you just had to climb in the window.
Yeah.
But we did not think of that.
No,
Thinking of more
that
obtuse
bouncy
ways?
ball hit that wall a lot of times before
Yeah.
we realised the window was open.
But yeah, no, Twinson's Odyssey. That's one game I'm never going to go back and play because it's just going to ruin the amazing images in my head.
What have you not being able to get into
Or
the
just
window?
of the game. Like in my head, the memories, the game looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It did look great for the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Graphics gets updated in your head constantly. So everything is suddenly now in, 4K, HDR,
Yeah.
ray tracing.
I got a PC in my head.
What if they released it and nothing had changed, but they just added ray tracing?
It worked,
That's pretty much what they've been
Happy with it.
doing.
it worked for Minecraft and Quake too, didn't it?
Well, yeah.
I think the new consoles have got some version of ray
Yeah,
tracing.
AMD has some ray tracing.
Yeah, because AMD's in both consoles.
Yes, they're almost the same.
Anyway,
Speaking of
so
consoles,
Nick is not with us this
Nope.
week.
Nope, not this
He's taken some time out. So Brody has kindly stepped up. Well, it wouldn't matter if Nick was here or not. Brody'd still be on. So, we'll get on with it. Now, I did get. We can start with what we've been playing.
Cool.
You go first, Jamie.
All right. Not much. I've been playing a bunch of Hades finally. And yeah, that's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying because it's a roguelike. So, you start the game and you just kind of you start from the beginning and you're just basically trying to get out from the underworld. And it's a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. You can,
Really?
Yeah, you could finish a run and get out of the underworld by about the half-hour mark, if that. Possibly even faster if you get on a really good run.
I'm not going to tell you how many hours I've played of that game and still haven't gotten out then.
I haven't gotten out yet, but I've
Me
gotten
too,
to what I assume is the last boss.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's a lot of fun, and I like how you no matter how many times you die and go back, you have different things being said by different people. That I haven't had any dialogue repeating yet.
nice.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of detail that's been put into them going, okay, you're going to die a lot, you're going to start again a lot, so we can't just make it this boring thing that's always the same. Every time you come back, a little bit more of the interpersonal story of the characters kind of comes out, and everyone's talking about their...
Which is what I said I really liked about it
yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah.
Because I don't like roguelike games.
Yeah.
They just don't click with me. But this one, you still got that hint of progression.
Yeah.
Even though you're doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And it just felt really good.
Well, I mean,
Keep it down!
We'll edit that out. So
You know I never do.
so you're not going to edit the way that we start this podcast then?
No. No, but I'll start at the last intro.
So we had all that stuff at the beginning.
I can keep it in if you want, Jamie.
But we also had the train of thought that's just completely gone. Anyway, I also played some Anthem, and that's
we did.
That's the same thing that it's always been. Nothing's really changed with Anthem. One day they'll improve it, maybe.
The way that Reddit spruced it up, to me, got me really keen on it. So I dragged you guys back in with me.
Yeah, but they haven't actually.
Nothing's changed.
They haven't done anything yet. They're just talking about stuff that they're doing.
Yeah,
it hasn't been implemented into a live build yet.
Well, there's stuff that happened in like the dungeons and the loot and stuff that they had tweaked.
Yeah, we didn't get any good loot when we did it.
No, I didn't even get one yellow.
We got rubbish.
Yeah,
maybe that's because of my low level things have only just started.
I don't know.
I mean, we played everything on hard.
Oh, true.
And it was still difficult. It wasn't like it was a cakewalk for us.
No, true.
But yeah, so we played that on stream on Friday, and that was okay. And I think that's really all I've been playing this week. I played a little bit more Teardown, not too much. Just kind of went back in and had some fun knocking down some walls.
Is that VR?
No.
No.
It barely runs on my PC. It's
really?
It's such a physically intense game.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like Minecraft. Like everything's voxel.
Yeah.
And how like in Minecraft, if you knock down the bottom of a tree, the tree just stays suspended in the air realistically.
This has got physics.
Yeah, this thing, it'll actually like the tree will fall, and if it hits like a fence at a certain angle, the fence will collapse. And, it's all kind of got this huge interplay of physics going on with it, and you can use that for your heist. And like you go, oh, how do I get into the building? I'll just get in this truck and drive through a wall.
Probably CPU bound then more than GPU, I'd imagine.
Could be, but yeah, it definitely, I can feel it chugging under the weight of its own engine.
Time to upgrade. That's what I'd do.
I got to get a new...
There's no problem you can't fix by throwing money at it.
What about Guild Wars?
Yeah, no, that's an exception, not the rule.
You haven't thrown enough money at it.
No, that's true. There is more money to be thrown.
You got to throw the money at the developer.
At this point,
do their job.
You played Guild Wars with us for a bit, didn't you, Brody?
Yeah, I got it to run, and we jumped in a few times over a couple of weeks. It was good fun. That's like even if it's just like a big room to hang out and chat with your mates, like I had good fun.
That's pretty much what MMOs are.
Yeah, more or less.
See, the beauty of Guild Wars is you can run it on what you were running it on a MacBook.
A really old MacBook. Yeah, that's what I'm literally running the stuff on now. Like it's like 2015 or something, and it was a bit chuggy, but it was fine. Like it was playable.
And you'd still have like the exact same graphical
that's what I'm saying.
Experience that Josh would have on his machine with what do you got in there now, Josh?
3090.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really well optimized game. Incredible.
Hopefully Guild Wars 3 is in development.
I don't think it is. PowerPoint a couple of times, but other than that, it was okay.
I think they're talking about the next expansion.
Oh, they are, yeah. There's one more on their roadmap.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to hype it up because it's getting close to release.
They've been talking about their expansion and their layoffs, which I don't know about
what a combination.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they... this kind of took a lot of fun out of it for me, so I blame you, Jamie. When we were really into the story, or at least the living world stuff, so the constant expansions or whatever that would come out.
Right.
And then you almost could have written the script.
Oh, yeah.
Because you basically guessed what was going to happen.
It was so obvious.
And as soon as it started to happen, and I realised that I knew how it was going to end because you told me, I was like, there's not much point playing this anymore.
I don't even know how, because you'd go in the Lion's Arch and it ran like crap, and I went, they're going to blow this up and they're going to rebuild it. There's no way that they can keep having this game running if just going into the main hub is this awful. If they can't optimize it, they're going to kill it. And they haven't optimized it, so they must be ready to kill it.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
they did.
It blew up.
It's not much better.
No, it's still bad, but it's more open.
It is more open.
It's much more open. You try and turn around and there's people that are just like, chug.
I remember the first Lion's Arch and I loved it.
It was okay, but it was a bit of a maze to get to different vendors. Now they're all just kind of like sprawled out.
It's just a big courtyard.
Yeah.
Who cares? I've still got my Royal Terrace pass. So I get to go to VIP area. And
what a VIP area it is as well. It's just you just go up a ramp and there's
they have a fountain and it doesn't even look pretty. but all the vendors are just next to each other rather than you having
It's
to
convenient.
run.
Yeah, it's just convenience. Yeah,
But
it's boring, but it's convenient.
anyway, Dave, what have you been playing?
A little bit of Guild Wars 2, just logging in for the daily and occasionally doing more stuff if I can be bothered.
Yep.
And then since you guys got me onto Anthem, I've been hitting that and enjoying it.
You have.
Yeah.
He's actually been enjoying it.
Yeah,
Well, he will
I mean,
until-
the story
yeah.
bit, as I was talking to Jamie on the way over here, is kind of like click, click, come on, hurry up, let's get back to the fighting flying robots. But like the fighting is fun.
Yeah.
It's all the tedious of wandering around Fort Tarsus talking to people is the boring bit.
Yeah, that bit
absolutely.
sucks. And then once you're past,
Which is sad because it's a BioWare game. You want
yeah,
and expect good dialogue,
they
good story.
they just didn't do it right. Like I was saying to Dave on the way here that, you know, if you compare this to Red Dead Redemption, for example, the way that they handled their story in Anthem, you go to Fort Tarsus, you talk to a person, it's slow, it's boring, they give you some options, none of them matter, and then you go out and you do the exact same thing you were doing before you went there. If you do a mission in Red Dead Online, you go, you talk to a person, they give you a little spiel, you don't have to do a damn thing, they just like, blah, 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 do this. And then you go and they give you a mission that is tied to that type of character and what they've asked you to do.
Yeah.
There are multiple ways to go about doing it. Different things happen. It's not just like go, shoot, kill, did it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got different phases of the mission, different stuff to do. Sometimes they're very story-centric missions. Sometimes it's like go, like in the bootlegger stuff, you got to go and deal with the distillery, which could either be you utilize stealth or go in there guns blazing and blow it up. And so you've got different options on how to tackle different missions, whereas Anthem, it's all just fly like Iron Man, shoot some guys, fly back.
Yeah.
And that's the flying and the shooting does feel nice, but there's not enough.
There's no substance
Yeah,
behind it.
like you've got 2 slashes of bread, but you don't have any meat. You know,
And meat is the best salad.
sure, but you don't have any salad either. That's the problem. There's nothing. It's just bread.
There's not enough condiments either there. It's just,
Yeah.
No. Anything else, Dave? Or you just been smashing some Anthem?
tiny bit of Project Cars 2, just because I wanted to test out the 2080 Ti that I got from
Yes,
you. So
yes.
I didn't even plug my wheel in. I just busted out the Xbox controller and
Wow.
just turned all the settings up and went, oh, look, it looks pretty.
slumming
I can't
it
drive
with
for
the
shit
Xbox
with the
controller.
controller, but it looks pretty. So at some point I will plug in my wheel and enjoy it.
Yeah. What about you, Brody? You been playing anything?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
So you've got the new
so,
consoles. We'll get that out of the way.
What's that?
You've got the new consoles.
Yes, I do. So I picked them both up last week, whenever they came out. I'm going to straight off the bat, I barely touched the Xbox Series X because there's just nothing like specifically for it out yet. I did sort of fire up Halo Master Chief Collection, just played a bit of the first one just to see kind of how it would run, because they were sort of saying that they'd upgraded it a bit and it was meant to run at a high frame rate and everything else. And talking to you guys who are all on PC, you probably had this for ages, but for me on my old Xbox, I was like, oh, let's just see what it looks like. So I bashed around on that for a little bit. But I've been mainly sticking to the PS5,
Does it run at
It's,
4K, the Xbox? Natively?
That is a good question. I don't know, but I was reading today that apparently the ability to sort of patch in the increased frame rates and the higher textures and stuff like that's a bit easier on the Xbox Series X than it is on the PS5. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm not good with all
the fact that they have to patch in
technical
anything
specs.
for a new launch is just
yeah.
I hate it. It seems to be the new norm, and I don't like it.
Well, I think that's mostly talking about older, like Xbox Series. Wait, no, Xbox One, whatever the hell the last Xbox was,
The X-Bone.
and the PlayStation 4. Like, there's a lot of talk about like, hey, if you've got this game on the old hardware, it will run on the new hardware and will run better.
Yeah.
And I think that like generally upscaling and kind of taking an old game and running it faster and better, it seems to be something that Microsoft have been putting a lot more resources in as opposed to Sony. So
Yeah,
it's,
definitely.
it's probably something that Sony are just trying to catch up with.
Is there?
It seems that way. I know the Xbox Series X or the Microsoft sort of ecosystem has like their smart delivery system now as well, which I could not figure out what that actually was for the longest time when I first picked the console up. But it seems to be that no matter what disc you buy, if there is a version for the particular console that you have, that's the one that you get. So for example, if you buy the Xbox, well, you buy the Xbox disc for Watch Dogs Legion, for example, it'll have smart delivery on the front, and if you pop it in your Xbox Series X, you get the highest version of it with the better frame rates, the ray tracing, or whatever they're doing on it. But if you've just got an Xbox One, then you just get standard version. It doesn't matter. You don't have to think about it.
I mean, it makes sense if you think about how like the Xbox, the Xbone and the Xbone Series X are like just a PC. So you're just it's the same game. It's just if you've got it on the Xbox Series X,
it's like turning the settings up and down.
But it does it for you.
Yeah,
I do like that, and I've said before that what Microsoft have recently lacked in first party or exclusives, especially compared to PlayStation, they are making up for with building out their ecosystem in a really good way. Between Game Pass, which is a bargain, and stuff like smart delivery and all that kind of thing. They just don't know. That seems to be where their focus is. I'm sure a lot of people would like them to focus on actually
getting some games,
making some new games, and not making the old ones really easily accessible. And that's nice to have, but it's got to get to a point where you can't rest on your laurels. You're gonna have to come up with something new and you know, like the purchase of Bethesda, was it?
Yeah.
Might help a little bit, you'd imagine.
I mean, they made a whole bunch of high-profile purchases just before this next generation ticked over. Like, they got Obsidian, they got Double Fine, they got Bethesda. I think there were some others that they grabbed as well. So, like, those are, high-performing.
It's big for them.
Yeah, that is big. But, like, at the same time, I'm waiting for them to kind of lion-head it, where suddenly they have, like, these companies under their banner and they don't know what to do with them. They just kind of like corporate them to death. So we will see what happens.
Yeah.
They haven't had a great track record.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's good.
Like the Game Pass system that they've got going too is like, it's pretty cool. If especially for like families and stuff like that. Like if you've got kids and you want like a system that's just going to be like accessible to everybody, and you get Game Pass, it's like a cheap alternative to actually picking up games, because you can kind of just scroll through and go, oh, I'll download that and try them all out.
Yeah.
Especially with Bethesda now, like they've already said that I think is it Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 are going to be like day one on Game Pass now. So like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Everything that like every game that comes out under the Microsoft banner will always be included in Game Pass, which is kind of how they really try to entice you into it. But that that kind of also leads to they really do need to have more games coming out under the Microsoft banner, which they probably will, but at the moment it's slim pickings. It's a lot of just like stuff that they're licensing off of other companies, and every now and then
that's the Microsoft way.
Yeah, but
leaking into the game department.
Yeah, but every now and then there might be like an Age of Empires remake or a Wasteland 3 or something like that kind of like trickles in, but they don't really hype anything up. I never know when they're releasing something. It's just sort of there suddenly.
Yeah,
it's a bit disappointing. I do like Microsoft.
Yeah.
They
I'll put it this way: when I plugged my Xbox Series X in, one of the first things I did was I put Jade Empire in from Xbox, like the very first Xbox, because I still had a physical copy of it.
Yeah,
and it's cool to be able to just put the disc in and go, oh, hey, that runs. So that.
Nice.
That is good, and because PlayStation conversely had a very finite list of games that were backwards compatible, I think.
Yeah, they kind of went the same way as Microsoft did. So, I mean, it used to be that if you bought a PlayStation, it would have the old hardware in there as well as the new one. So you just like whack in your games and it just plays perfectly. Then around the PlayStation 3, when they're like, man, it's really expensive to put PlayStation 2 hardware into our PlayStation 3s as well. Yeah. So we'll make it a software emulation thing, but we'll just make it games that we figure people want that will emulate. Right, just kind of do the minimum we can. And Microsoft were the same way, except they've always been that way. So when you got to the Xbone, they started going, yeah, you know what? We're starting to do backwards compatibility for some 360 games and for some Xbox original games. And
because it did start with it was never everything.
I don't think it is everything still.
Yeah, okay.
I think it is just like some games just flat out have not been successfully emulated yet. And some games were easier to do than others, which is why really early on, like Barbie Horse Adventure got a port, and people were going, why are you pouring resources into this? And it was just it just worked.
That said,
we just didn't have to pour much in, that's why.
Yeah.
Sam played...
Barbie Horse Adventures?
No, he played Barbie Underwater Adventures, I think.
It sounds so much better.
Yeah, he got it off Cal's younger sister, Emily, so a friend of the family.
Yeah.
and he borrowed it and he loved it, and I've worried about him ever since.
Wait, how old was he when this happened?
Oh, he was young, like early teens,
I thought you were
probably
gonna
not
be
even that.
You know, that was last week.
Well, he still watches Gilmore Girls religiously, so I'd put them in the same
Yeah.
basket.
This is a bit different.
Yeah. Are they though?
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway,
So the PS5, tell us more about your
Yeah.
experience.
So I've spent a lot of time with the PS5 since it's come out. That thing, whatever Sony did, putting time into the DualSense was well worth it. Like that controller, I was not expecting much, even though there was all that kind of like internet hype saying, hey, the DualSense is amazing, the DualSense is this, the DualSense is that. When you actually get it in your hands and play something that was optimized for it, that thing's unreal, hey.
Okay.
Like,
Comfortable?
again, I'm not good with the technical stuff, but I think they've changed the rumble to a haptic feedback, so it can be a little bit more specific when they're like getting things to react on screen to what you've got in your hands. And then the thing that kind of really blew me away when I started playing was the triggers. They've got this like feedback.
they have
in
haptic
the-
feedback
Yeah.
in them. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, for example, okay, so when you fire up your PS5, every single PS5 comes with Astro's Playroom. So I spent a lot of time with Astro's Playroom when I first loaded it up. And that thing's basically a homage to everything PlayStation from the last 25 years. And it's also like a little kind of a showcase for what the DualSense can do. So it's been specifically designed to kind of show you, hey, we spent a lot of time changing up the controller and putting a lot of sort of time and effort into this thing.
It's a
This
tech
is what
demo.
it can do.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a tech demo, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Like it's just like a little platformer, but like that's one of the, like Astro's Playroom is one of the best things I've played all year. Just purely based on the fact that like it's got all these little like Easter eggs and little touches to like everything PlayStation the last 25 years. Like as soon as you turn it on, it goes, hey, this is what the triggers do. This is what the haptic feedback does. This is how we use the touchpad. And it kind of shows you all these little things. And then once you start playing the game itself, like it's got like sort of a hub world, and then you've got 4 little different sort of self-contained worlds with 4 levels in each one. And each of those is kind of like 2 of the levels will kind of really show off a particular feature of the DualSense, and then 2 of them are more like just like a Mario 64 style 3D platformer. But within each of those levels, it'll have sections where it really does just try and show you, hey, this is what the DualSense can do. And it was just a lot of fun. Like I had like a smile on my face the whole time I was doing that. It was good. Really, really good.
That really reminds me of the first time I put your Vive on.
You mean my Oculus?
Oh, sorry, your Oculus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the VR.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
similar thing. They built a quote-unquote game, or like, it was the Caravan?
Yeah, it was just like, again, basically a little tech demo to show you how
Yeah,
to use
yeah.
your hands in a 3D space.
But similarly, that was the most fun I'd had in a long time
Yeah.
playing any game, because it was a simple way of delivering you the features of the new technology.
Yeah, and I was also thinking
Yeah.
the same thing as Brady was talking about, that, like just showing off their hardware. And it'll be really interesting to try for myself eventually. I probably won't get a PS5 until the next Persona drops, but once I do get it, I'll definitely give it a try.
Or will the new Persona come out on PC?
Nah, probably not.
Is 5 the latest?
Yeah. 4 only just came out on PC, and that came
Oh,
out
it was
in like
4 that came out on PC.
2012
Right,
on
okay.
PlayStation 2,
I do
so-
have it. I've never played it. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah,
Have
good.
have you played now that you've got the power of the PS5 at your hands? Have you tried Bug Snacks?
Have I tried?
Bug Snacks.
No, but I downloaded that yesterday.
It's
so that,
definitely game of the year material.
I'm going to
apparently
assume
it's
from the
really
look
good.
on your face that it's not.
It's actually really good. But
Apparently it's meant to be really good. Apparently,
Yeah.
like the story and kind of the little stupid interactions you have on that island are apparently really good.
it's surprisingly good, and it's very funny. It's a very funny
I'm
game.
also assuming when you said the power of the PlayStation that it probably requires very little.
Yeah, no, it's nothing.
Right, okay.
I mean, it's out on PC as
You've
well.
deceived us multiple
but
times.
It runs on PS4, no problem.
Well, Josh
Yeah, no,
might
it's-
be able to run it then, maybe. It'll
Oh,
be
maybe.
t-
Maybe.
tight.
Maybe.
I don't
Can
think
you
there's ray
get a
tracing.
PS4 emulator?
No,
No?
but it's on
I think
PC.
so.
You can get a PS3 emulator.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Well,
I
it
thought.
won't be
I know
long.
PS3. I didn't know PS4.
It won't be long, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why are we talking about PS emulators?
Good
don't know.
question.
I feel like I just missed a step. in
Well,
that
no, isn't the
conversation.
game you just talked about?
Yeah.
Is that on PC?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no,
said
worry.
that twice
Oh,
already.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's on PC and PlayStation.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I've been playing, and I haven't told anyone this. And this is why I was really excited. And then I realized I have told Brody. But I bought a Switch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You been playing Animal Crossing?
No.
Oh, okay.
What have you been playing on your Switch?
Hey, Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was sitting in the hotel room for work up the northwest
With poor lighting.
with poor lighting, and not a single light. It wasn't just in that room. So Brody, I sent these guys because I don't know if you know that I lived in Devonport for about 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the northwest is literally like the asshole of Tasmania.
Hi to our northwest listeners.
It's a real heads down, bums up situation.
I have a very unreasonable hatred for the north and northwest, but so I was stuck in the northwest for work and and I was just bored. There's nothing on TV. Your phone can only you can only play so much on a phone. It's as far along as they've come. So anyway, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go and click and collect a Switch if Bernie even has an EB. Turns out they do.
Devonport also, apparently.
Do they really?
Yeah. I got a mate who lives up that way, and he got
I'm sorry to hear.
PS5 a couple of weeks ago, and he's picked it up from Devonport.
Sorry, Brody's mate.
You would need to have an EV in like every major city.
Yeah, major. City's a strong word, but
It's
anyway,
far enough.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, he picked up a Switch, and it hurt a little bit. I'm unapologetically PC Master Race, but that Switch is and I know it's been out for ages. It's a technical marvel as far as I'm concerned. I need to stop dropping.
Yeah.
And like Nintendo have always had a very specific art style, especially with first party games and things like that. So it's not exactly hard from a hardware perspective to drive, but I just couldn't believe what I was holding in my hands. The battery life, the whole wire-free experience, the quality of the screen, the quality of the game, the controls, which, when I look at it, I go, that can't be comfortable. And sure.
Did you get the light or the full-size one?
I got the full-size one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I want to play it. So I sneak it out every night when Eli goes to bed to play. Because
he doesn't know you've got it.
No,
yet.
I'm going to repackage it as a Christmas present.
Clever.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, it blew me away.
Yeah.
I haven't played anything else but Breath of the Wild. Unfortunately, they only had the Fortnite edition console in there.
Oh.
So it came preloaded with Fortnite, which I promptly deleted.
Nice.
It doesn't have like a Fortnite skin on it or anything, does it?
It's got like the bus that you launch off in the Fortnite
battle
game.
bus.
The battle bus. It's got like a little battle bus underneath one of the D-pads.
Well, you can. The great thing about having that Switch is you can just take those D-pads off, throw them away, buy some new ones.
You can't see them when you're holding it, so
So it's okay.
yeah. Like I've only played it when those Joy-Cons or whatever Joy-Cons?
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when they're attached. I've only played it like you would the Lite, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But then I realised you can detach them, set it up on its stand,
Yep.
and then play it as well. And like it was just like a breakthrough for me. It was
It's like magic, huh?
It is. It was just wild. I'm like, this is crazy. The thing that impressed me the most was I'm playing like a AAA title, and like I was like 5 hours in because I couldn't sleep. I can't sleep in hotels. And the battery just started to complain that it was getting a bit low.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Yeah, the battery life is really good on them. Like compared to like when you consider what they're actually doing.
Yeah. No, it was nuts. Only downside is you can't get Netflix. I'm like, oh, sweet, I've got a bigger screen to watch Netflix on. And it's got a stand, so I can stand it next to the bed on the bedside table and stuff. But no Netflix.
You get YouTube.
You get YouTube. Yeah. I have got YouTube Premium, so I watched some kind of B-grade film that was on there.
Do they do anything on YouTube Premium?
They used to. They used to like commission original series.
Is that where Cobra Kai came from initially?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there was a sci-fi one I watched, and it had Draco Malfoy Harry Potter in it.
Draco Malfoy's Wild Adventure. Yeah.
Anyway, the guy that played him, he was in this sci-fi show, and that was a YouTube original.
Okay.
I didn't mind it.
Right.
They never made season 2. I don't think they made season 2 of anything.
No, I don't think it did very well for them.
I think the downfall of PewDiePie didn't help because they cancelled all his exclusives and partnerships and everything because he dressed up as a Nazi or something.
But they've also done like weird stuff with all their advertising as well. Like I use the YouTube app every now and then to just like listen to stuff or watch stuff while I'm in my hobby room painting, and just like the aggressive amount of ads that are coming on lately for stuff that I know isn't monetized is nuts.
Yeah,
like, it's clearly just YouTube
they,
going like, we want all the money now.
And they double them up now too. Like one will play, and then immediately afterwards, the second one starts. And you can't do anything about it. I didn't realize that was a thing either.
This is something that's going to sound really weird, but I constantly think about it. The one thing that has warmed me to Xbox this generation, even though I probably won't own either of them, maybe a PS5 at some point, because let's face it, the exclusives are there and they're better. There are 2 ads that run, or there's many ads that run on Facebook. And Facebook is really obnoxious with the ads in videos. They will just pop up in the middle of something.
Right.
Rather than, like, they're mid-roll. They're not at the start, at the end. Well, they are at the start and the end, but they're always, like, right. And I swear there's an algorithm or something that times it. So when something interesting in the video is about to happen, or it's a pinnacle or something, bam, ad. But I get so angry when it's a 15-second ad.
Yeah.
And the Sony have a 15-second ad that runs during videos. Xbox only have a 5-second ad that runs during videos.
Win.
I know, and for some reason that's just made me so like,
I tell you what I really hate. It's when there are 2 things that YouTube does that really gets me angry. 3 things. and like the third one is that like they have unskippable ads sometimes.
Yes.
They're like 15, 30-second unskippable ads. Bullshit. The other thing that they do is if you're listening to music through YouTube, they'll just randomly pause it for no good reason, and then you'll get an ad going like, hey, you can listen to music on the YouTube Premium app. It's like, I know what you're doing.
I'm already listening to it on this one.
And the third thing that they do is sometimes they have ads that are just like 3 minutes long, and you can skip it whenever, but you got to go skip it. Like, it's just like I'm waiting for this ad to end, and I'm like, it's just going to be 15 seconds. I'll just continue what I'm doing, and then, but no, it keeps going. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's like a song or some crap.
Admittedly, I do pay for Premium now.
What I've done, we've gone one step better. We bought a Raspberry Pi.
Nice.
Are you running Pi-hole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done. Nice.
We're sick and tired of like, because we usually have dinner like just in the lounge room, and we'll turn on the PlayStation and watch YouTube through there. Sick of the ads. Got a Raspberry Pi mainly to just kind of have like a little home arcade that we can run all the games and stuff like that. But we're also putting on Pi-hole so we can just watch YouTube without their crap, because they don't deserve any of our money.
Yeah.
I believe Google probably have enough.
Yeah, they're okay.
They can give some to us. We still can't advertise.
I'm not going to pay them with my hard-earned time. I've got a limit of that.
When we monetize, please watch our ads.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's fine. We don't have any money. Google have all the money.
Yeah, no, Pi-hole is really good.
Yeah.
It's a good little thing. You don't even need a Raspberry Pi for it either.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, as long as it's on your network.
Yeah. Well, we don't really have that much of a network going on in the house, and Lauren wanted.
I have a network cabinet.
Very good.
Yeah. Don't know where I'm going to put it.
Right there.
Yeah, that's where it is.
But so Lauren was like, "Oh, I really want to get a Raspberry Pi." She went and grabbed one. I was like, "Oh, cool. Now we can do other stuff on this as well, and we won't have to worry about just YouTube's avalanche of ads that they've got going on."
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're that hard up, you know?
Oh, no, they're not.
Just,
no.
I mean, they must have to buy a lot of storage. Like,
they must
there's
do.
the ridiculous amount of footage is uploaded.
They got a ridiculous amount of money, though.
Oh, it's true. It's also true.
It's
probably
hilarious.
why they're in that position, right? Because of all the ads.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also, they've made it so that you have to have like a certain amount of people watching your video or subscribe to your channel before you can even begin to monetize.
Yes.
So whereas
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah. So whereas it used to be, I can just, I can start a channel and I'll immediately start to see like, 10, 20 cents in ad revenue. Like nothing to kind of be like, oh, thank God I'm rich now. But it's still like,
It's a start.
I'm getting a little trickle. Now, no. You gotta reach like a certain pinnacle before you can even begin to think about getting 20 cents.
Yeah, no, and a lot of popular YouTubers have come out and said it's not anything like it used to be.
Oh hell no!
It's not somewhere where anyone could come along with a good idea and feel like they're being embraced by the platform.
It used to be that you could have animation on YouTube and you could like make a 3-minute little cartoon or less, and then like rack up like a few million views.
Yeah,
and you would be getting a really good payday. Now that's not the case because they don't care about how many views you're getting. They care about how much time people watch, like the amount of engagement per video.
Yeah.
And so it's essentially killed animation on YouTube, where it was really flourishing for a while there, and we were seeing all these really great projects that people were going and going, I'm going to make this, and I'm going to make enough money so I can continue to fund myself. And YouTube are just kind of going like, we're really more about the vloggers.
Yeah.
And it's just ugly.
That's why I think
Gross.
we're going to see the rise in, so like Linus Tech Tips, they have Float Plane. So they've basically, he has the money and the hardware and the technical know-how, and he's basically started a YouTube competitor. It's kind of like a side project that's slowly getting off the ground.
Subscription-based,
but it is subscription-based, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So at the moment, it's a curated list of people that can host on there. So he's approached other big tech tubers and stuff like that. And then, he gets a cut of the subscription.
Yeah, you subscribe to each particular creator that you want to.
Yeah, I think YouTube's days are probably numbered as, well, people have been saying that for years.
Well, you can't beat free. Like as long as the gates are open and anyone can come in and take a look and watch whatever they want there, even though the crap that gets thrown your way, people are going to be like, I'm still going to go because there's no real barrier for entry. The moment you go, hey, it's a subscription-based thing, like I would never consider getting YouTube Red or whatever the hell they've got now, because why would I want that? And even if they went, hey, all of YouTube is warded off, you can no longer enter it without a subscription, I still wouldn't subscribe.
That was such a bad naming decision.
Yeah, it was.
YouTube Red.
Yeah.
Because there's already a site called RedTube.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
There's a marketing person that got fired, guaranteed.
They were a plant.
Or high-fived to bring people into it when they were trying to find the other one.
Yeah, they typed it in the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember in high school, remember Alta Vista?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
But if you typed in Ultra Vista, it was just like horrible pornography.
I never made that mistake. I didn't know about that one.
Did you ever have to
What
go
was
to,
it? It was like-
bro, did you ever have to go to willyworries.com in high school?
No, I did not.
No, I can't remember.
What do you mean had to go?
No, it was
Did you
literally
wake up
our
one day
health.
and be like, oh no, I need to see what's happening here. I got a willy
I mean,
worry.
this seems like the best place to possibly
Our
go.
health teacher, so we were obviously in different classes. I can't remember, but anyway, it was raining and he'd booked the computer room, and it was a feeble attempt at sex ed, I guess. And he just sat everyone down and said, "Here are a list of approved websites that you can go to, and just have a look and just do some reading." And one of them was willyworries.com. And so I just sat around a computer just looking at like grotesque dicks.
That sounds like school.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff
Yeah.
that would now get flagged. They'd be like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Some, oozy woozies.
This is not the first time you've mentioned Willy Worries on
No,
this
I know. It's
podcast.
such a great resource. Such
So
a
you're still,
great
you're still
resource.
using it now, are you?
You still got to use it. Yeah. You got to check in and see what the latest and greatest is in infections. But that and ratemypoo.com, that is still an internet classic.
Is that still there?
Yep.
I don't know.
I know urinalpoop.com is gone.
What?
Urinal poop.
How do I not know about this?
I have no idea. I figured you'd be up on the up and up. With that.
There were literally pictures posted, and I put them on my Facebook from my travels up northwest.
Oh, yeah.
There was some bizarre
The signage.
signs over the men's
Oh, yeah,
toilets.
yeah.
And it just made me wonder,
What are you people doing?
what problem have they had here that they thought these were
Dehydration apparently
necessary?
is a big issue.
Yeah, but it's like if your
Get to
pee
this
looks
point.
like your poo, as far as colour,
That's
and
very
maybe
dehydrated.
consistency.
Yeah.
It's like drink more. I'm like, no, go to the doctor.
Well, the doctor will probably say drink way more.
Yeah.
They'll actually hook you up to a drip right then and there.
Yeah. Anyway, moving along, I've also been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. One of the main reasons I upgraded because my graphics card wouldn't run it.
Might be something to do with your massive monitor.
Well, that too. But then I realised that it's just a really, really badly optimised game for PC.
Yeah, that's nothing new to me. Ubisoft have a really bad reputation of just optimizing their stuff like crap.
So I threw some more horsepower at it with a new graphics card, and I get playable frame rates.
Great.
Promising.
Yeah, but then I also got because I got, I don't know why, but I got the Uplay subscription.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see a bit of a benefit to subscriptions. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But I decided I'd get it, and I was going to download Breakpoint.
Okay.
And really enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
Like at the start, they give you the option. Do you want the shit mode that it released with, or do you want the good one that was in Wildlands?
I wonder which one you picked.
Yeah, and I'm like, I want to play the good one,
Yeah.
the Wildlands one. But then, even then, they let you go into a lot more granular detail about what features from the new game from launch do you want, and then what features
and
from.
you said like none.
Yeah. It's like, I went down the list and I'm like, I really didn't need to go through the list. I just should have selected
all Wildlands,
like the new mode. Yeah.
Was Wildlands the Division in the Jungle type
Yes.
game?
Wildlands 2 was, because like Wildlands 1 was nothing like Division. It was like an actual just Splinter Cell style, not Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six.
Wildlands 1 and 2? Isn't there only one Wildlands?
I thought there was Wildlands and
Sorry, yes, Wildlands, but then Breakpoint. Breakpoint is like the the sequel to Wildlands, and that's the one that's basically like launched as the Division in the jungle.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they added gear score and everything.
Yeah. Really stupid.
So they went from like they call it military sim, which is rubbish. It's not. But then they went to like a loot system with gear score and stuff like that.
It went from lethal guns to marshmallow shooters.
Yeah. Everything was a bullet sponge a la Division. But I like the third person. I like the shooting. I like it. It's good. Yeah. And I like the dude that plays the Punisher that's in it. The
Punisher.
Yeah.
Is that the guy from The Walking Dead who was in the first couple of seasons?
Yeah, he's the antagonist in Breakpoint.
Yeah.
He rocked up in Wildlands.
Okay.
They added him in for like a level.
Yeah.
Like they did for what's Splinter Cell guy?
Sam Fisher.
He rocked up there. Predator apparently rocked up in
there. Yeah, I was going to say Predator was in Wildlands,
Didn't you fight the Predator with
we did, yeah. It was like just random though. I was like,
they're just doing just cross-promotional stuff.
Yeah.
I think
that sounds like Ubisoft.
I think they have a Terminator one in Breakpoint.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
Wildlands is probably one of my top 10 games of all
Wildlands
time.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Wildlands. That's why I was so disappointed with Breakpoint.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were.
Oh, God.
Disappointed enough and vocal enough that they've basically gone back and gone, fine, we'll do it the way we should have the first time.
All right, we'll make a good game. Fine.
Yeah. I stopped playing Division to go to Wildlands.
Yeah.
And pretty much.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, never picked up
I loved the Division.
Yeah, the Division was good. I think the Division 2 is far better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, okay. I picked that up for like, I don't know, $18 off Amazon recently because I've got a couple of mates, again, who have just picked up PS5s and they haven't had consoles for ages and they're like, what cheap multiplayer games can we get? So I think we all got a copy of that for like, $18 or something.
Division's good for the co-op. I played the first one almost exclusively co-op with friends.
Nice.
But yeah, Dave and I, we played Division 2 for a bit. Because you got it like for $2 or something.
Yeah, it was like $4 or something.
Yeah, they had a sale on at one point. Really good, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Division 1 really impressed me from a technical perspective, like basically recreating very faithfully Manhattan, which was just unreal. Did such a good job. Cool. Yeah, like Reddit was just full of people who lived in Manhattan putting photos next to screenshots of real locations and stuff. That was really well done.
Less dumpster fires or more?
Probably less. And then Division 2, obviously didn't get the same reaction like Washington. It's a lot more urban and stuff like that. But
I had a lot of fun in it.
I felt that I would say in Division 2, the gameplay was more or less unchanged. So it's kind of like if you went in like just from a complete gameplay perspective, it's like more of the same. If you liked it, you like it. If you didn't, you wouldn't. But I definitely really preferred the aesthetic that they had with the second one over the first one. The first one was really nice, but it's so it's such a cold color palette because obviously it's winter time. So it's always snow. It's always just like very muted blue,
Grey.
grey colours, and it just kind of like sort of brings you down after a while. There's not that much variation. And then in Division 2, it's like, it's springtime, so there's more vibrant colours, more greens, and that there's like a larger colour scale throughout the game. So I found that there was more variation visually, which kept it more interesting for me.
That's fair enough, yeah.
And I think like the locations in games, like you say, when you were talking about Manhattan, Josh, like having a really cool location, like that'll make it for you. Like I really want to play Legion, Watch Dogs Legion, because obviously like I lived in London for 18 months. So now I just want to go back and wander around in that world. I'm not worried about what I'm doing. I just want to see what they put in it.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs Legion, did that review any better than the first one? Because the first one had so much promise, and then I remember it falling fairly flat.
Remember the E3 videos of the first Watch Dogs, and then then compared to release?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There were like settings that they just had turned off and hadn't put in the game.
God.
Man.
That always goes down well.
What a dumpster fire.
Because isn't Legion the third? Or second?
Yeah, it's the third one.
Yeah.
I think the thing that puts me off the most about that is that they've gone to like you play as DedSec now, so you don't have like a single protagonist anymore. You just play as everybody basically.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like Pokemon for humans, right?
Right,
like
but you can be a
all the
grandma.
different people.
You can be a grandma?
You can be a grandma. You can be a grandma, and you can do barrel rolls and like get people in headlocks and like stab them and stuff. And it's really weird because it's a grandma.
That's violent, super grand.
Yeah,
That's
she's
awesome.
doing like grandma parkour and stuff. It's like, no, your bones.
That just suddenly reminded me. I fell asleep on the couch last night with the wee baby Luca watching. I'm not a bad parent. He wasn't watching it. I was watching it. Hunters. It's a new Amazon series I just stumbled across, but it has Al Pacino in it, and it's set in the 70s, and they're basically Nazi hunters.
Right.
Oh, yes.
And it's super disturbing. Not The Boys level disturbing. But because a lot of the Nazis from the war time are now, even in the 70s, some of them are getting on.
Yes.
It's like the first episode revolves around like literally a grandmother who'd resettled in the US, but she was a Nazi chemist who was instrumental in developing the gas that they used.
Right.
So it was a bizarre fight scene between a grandma Nazi and the rest of the Nazi hunters.
Right.
But it was just done so well that you could believe that old girl had some kick in her.
Yeah.
Did she do actual kicks?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So
She was just
strength of a
it had
gymnast.
to be someone in an old granny fat suit.
Yeah.
Had to be. I refuse to believe.
But you said it was very believable.
True.
So
but
maybe it was a real grandma. And
Maybe it was.
And she was just,
Can you imagine casting that?
yeah, we need a fit grandma.
This reminds me of Hot Fuzz with the old lady firing the machine gun with her beehive hairdo.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you watched the new
I've watched the first episode of Truth Seekers.
Yeah, any good?
It's okay. I haven't gone. Oh, I have to watch the next one right now.
Wait, how did you guys get onto Truth Seekers? Like,
I
Josh
said
started
Hot
a
Fu-
sentence and then
Because
you
they're both
just...
on Amazon Prime.
And I said
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz, which is because it's the same guys. Simon
Oh,
Pegg.
Is this just
okay.
across Simon Pegg, the new
Sim-
series that
yes.
they did, like the Ghost Hunter one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I've had that on my watch list, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah.
So
The first,
cool.
I mean, it was entertaining. I wasn't laugh a minute stuff, but then it doesn't have to be.
I tell you what, Amazon Prime are low key quality.
There's some good stuff on there.
It's
like,
good.
When
yeah.
you compare it to Netflix, which is just churning out crap.
Right.
And then you find like the odd diamond in the rough. And then when you do, they go and cancel it anyway.
Yeah.
Amazon just seem to, they're pouring some money in the right places as far as production
Oh, I
companies.
hear that guy has quite a bit of cash.
Does have a
they
little bit
ooze.
of money.
Just a bit.
But Amazon also aren't. So something performs. Again, they're all very protective of their metrics and their stats, like on viewers and stuff like that. But Netflix is notorious. Like, if they see the slightest downturn, it's gone. Whereas Prime just seem to persist, as they should.
They'll give
Because,
it
I mean,
time.
realistically, after what? A short 8-episode season. If you've got fairly strong viewership, but it might have tapered off towards the end, and you cancel it, then you're not I don't know. I'm not in the business, but it
But
just
also,
seems.
rather they make 8 episodes which are good rather than stretch something out for like 20 just to fill it.
Oh yeah,
Netflix also
like a Chuck Lorre situation.
As far as I understand it, Netflix also have a policy where it's not a hard and fast policy, but it's just like a general thing where they kind of go, generally a show shouldn't need to be more than 2 seasons long. Like if a show goes for more than 3 seasons, it's an outlier in like the way that Netflix kind of produces their content. But for the most part, 2 seasons done, that's it. Then you can just binge the whole thing, then move on to something else.
It's the British way of doing it.
Yeah, shorter seasons.
Yeah.
Because you're going, I don't need to drag it out because I don't need to get 100 episodes so I get syndicated.
Yes,
So I don't need
absolutely.
to do that.
Yeah.
I can actually get my good content in the whole, spread it evenly across. I'm not just stretching it out, having filler episodes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you don't need to go like, oh, we have to have like this has to be week to week thing. It's a lot of like serialized shows are really becoming just like each season is a long movie.
Yeah.
So you should be able to go like, all right, look, here is a movie with parts where you can stop and just there's 8 episodes in it. Maybe they're like 8 hours long in total, whatever, and just go and you can watch that in an evening if you want, or you can space it out at your leisure. Whereas now, like before, it was we have to have 26 episodes, 25 episodes, and they have to go for X amount of time, and so we just gotta different stories.
Americans, man.
Yeah,
Quantity over quality.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
I touched Josh's foot with my foot, and he got really frightened. I didn't realize he was stretched out so far.
Were you going to say something, bro?
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't know about you guys, but I find it really hard to like keep my attention on like long episodes and long seasons these days. I just lose interest so fast. Like I find those like short, sharp things, I find that's just, for me, it just hits the sweet spot, and I find I can sort of engage with it so much more now.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with that.
I tried so many times to watch Westworld a couple of years ago, and I'd get like 2 or 3 episodes in, and then I'd do something else for a bit, and then it'd be like 3 weeks later, and I'd be like, what was happening again? And I'd try and start again, and I'm like, nah, I'm giving up.
And something like Westworld requires almost 100% attention
Yeah.
to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I tend to, most of the shows I watch at the moment, for the most part, one, aren't that many, but 2, I kind of watch them in the background as I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way, really, unless it's something that requires my attention, like a foreign film or an anime or something that has subtitles. But for the most part, I'm just kind of going like, yep, put that on the background. It's almost like a podcast, and I'll just be like drawing or painting or doing something else while that's going on. It's just kind of there as like some white noise for my brain.
That's just Friends for us.
Yeah.
Because with kids, you can't put on shows that you would watch.
Sure.
You got to be very selective.
Yeah.
So if we're sick of watching Bluey or Peppa Pig or whatever,
How could you be? Come on, man. They're amazing.
even Bluey has its limits. Yeah, you would just be like, hey, Google, play Friends. And it would just be on in the background. And I could recite to you every single line.
You want to know what I think is one of like the greater tragedies of our time? It's that we will never get, worse, we will never get an HD version of Home Improvement. we will never get it because of the way it was shot and the type of film it was shot on.
They can't upscale it.
They can't upscale it. So it's just forever Tim the blurry toolman Taylor.
See, I missed the whole Hyper and Home Improvement. I never really got into it. I watched it occasionally and went,
I didn't get into the hype of, and they're trying to hype it up because there was a reunion on HBO, I think. Fresh Prince.
See, I got into Fresh Prince, I got into Home Improvement, and I got into Friends. And then later on, like in life, I got into Frasier. That's kind of really it for like the...
and Seinfeld is the other one that I got to later.
Seinfeld I never really got into. I just couldn't, it just didn't really stick with me.
I used to hate it, and now I can tolerate
it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I hated it early on, and then I lived with a couple who just were obsessed with it, and they kind of sat me down and said, okay, you need to watch
You got indoctrinated, I see.
Seinfeld has that kind of like awkward humor where a lot of the laughter
show about nothing.
It's about nothing, but a lot of the humor comes from like just the general embarrassment of like what these people do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you're laughing sort of at how stupid they are, or like the misunderstanding that they don't want to fix, and it's kind of like this. It's one of those things where if I was in that actual situation, I'd be so uncomfortable, and so I watch these guys get into that kind of situation. I'm like, I'm very uncomfortable watching this.
That's why I couldn't watch it.
It just
Really?
It just makes me
I might
cringe.
watch it because that's my kind of thing. I'm down for that.
I know you love people getting embarrassed. Yeah.
Like that's why I loved The In-Betweeners.
Yes, that was another one I couldn't watch.
That was just so stunningly accurate. Like you watch it as an adult or someone who might have lived a bit more sheltered. I don't know. And you go, oh, this is completely blown out of proportion and exaggerated. It's not. Like the writers literally took from their own experiences. And I just related to that so well because there's so many things I look back on and I just cringe.
Yeah.
Like at that memory, I'm like, stop it, leave.
There, that cringe, that triggers a fight or flight response from me, and I flight. I'm like, no.
Throw the TV remote at the TV.
Gone. No, thank you.
Yeah. And then you got stuff like that I just don't understand, like 2.5 Men. And like anything Chuck Lorre's touched, like Big Bang we got into for a little bit.
You know what Chuck Lorre did?
No.
He wrote the original Ninja Turtles theme song.
Really?
He should have quit while he was ahead.
He peaked early.
He really did.
And then he brought us Charlie Sheen.
Well, Martin Sheen brought us Charlie Sheen, really.
True. But I think Martin Sheen, wasn't he president in something? The West Wing?
Yeah, apparently.
I don't recall.
Oh, we're going down that rabbit hole.
He was the secret man in Mass Effect 2. What was he called? The Elusive Man.
The Elusive Man,
Yeah.
sitting in his chair.
Yeah. Watching the sun die.
That's right, yeah. Oh,
I've got that to look forward to then.
You do. So, yeah, bro,
Yeah,
bit of
you
background. Dave's going to play Mass Effect.
Yeah. Yes. They did the trilogy thing. Well, you guys already spoke about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
last week. I think we talked
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy to go back and do that all again.
Yeah, we're gonna sit Dave through that.
Because I haven't played any of them at all. So
It's
I
not as
know.
torturous as what we usually when we say we're gonna make someone play something. It's horrible.
Yeah, this is actually a kindness. We're
This
doing
is
you a
a kindness
favour.
side.
Yeah, no, your Mass Effect is fantastic.
Yeah.
Good on that.
Unless Josh starts you off on Andromeda, then it's just...
Why would I do
I
that?
don't know, maybe you're feeling just sadistic.
No, I don't want anyone to feel like I had to when I played Outlast. Which, by the way, people are still crying out for me to keep playing.
Yes,
Yeah.
because it was entertaining. And like the thing was, we said that as a joke, but you went through with it. Like I wasn't holding your feet to the fire. But now that we've started doing it, you got to keep it up.
Still got December 18th tattoo as well.
You do.
Yeah. That's.
I'm still not going to watch you do that. Like I don't like
Speaking of watching people
Like,
uncomfortable.
I will watch you a little bit uncomfortable. I don't want to see you in like an intense amount of pain.
It won't be that bad.
You tell me about it afterwards.
Yes. Are you clued in on that, Brody? That was very early on, I think.
No, so I'm
very-
not sure
very-
what's happening.
Get this, bro. For some reason, Josh thinks it's a good idea. We once again jokingly said if we do something, I can't even remember what it was.
remember
Don't
what
you
the
guys have to
conditions
play
were.
more League of Legends or something?
No, that's right. Nick had to play a game of League of Legends. That was
I never thought that he would, in my defense.
Let me finish my story to Paul Brody. He had to play one
he
game
was
of League of
happening.
Legends, and Josh, in turn, would get an Xbox tattoo on the bottom of his foot.
Yes.
So Nick promptly created an account. Like, the last time I tried to put Jamie back into League of Legends, there was a lot of money required.
Yeah, and you never
Understandable.
came through with it.
Yeah, you were like $500 maybe for a game.
That offer still stands, by the way.
Yeah, I bet it does. And you better believe that I'm going to do it when I've got $500.
That's fine. I can use $500.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm a man of my word. I've got tattoo work booked in for the 18th anyway. It's not like I was never going to go specifically to the tattoo parlor and go, sup, I just need an Xbox logo on the bottom of it.
Tiny Xbox logo.
Which Xbox logo are you going? Is it going to be the classic original Xbox?
Yeah, I want like the
circle?
fat one from
Yeah.
first Xbox.
Yeah, the one that looks like it's kind of like peeling out.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You
Yeah.
idiot.
So anyway,
make a great video.
I think Nick, he's definitely going to record it.
Yeah, Nick will go.
But he wanted to then live stream it. But I
How
think
would Twitch feel about
has to
that?
happen now.
I think Twitch have rules against torture.
I think I'm gonna let him record it because then I have final edit privileges.
Well, I mean,
there
if
might be
Nick
the
records it on
director's
his
cut,
phone
though.
and he takes it home. Like,
Yeah, true. He probably would. Yeah.
but yeah, no, Nick will be the one in the room for that.
And then I can't remember why I had to play Outlast. I actually thought that was in return for Nick playing more League of Legends.
Wasn't the Outlast the original League of Legends game? And then
no,
playing more?
no. I think that the Outlast was just something that we were talking about doing, and you just sort of sent like,
because I hate horror games.
Yeah.
Hate them.
Yeah.
Don't see the point. It's like chili or any kind of spicy food. What is the point? You might like food, you might like games, but you wouldn't eat hot food just to be tortured.
Oh, it's an acquired taste.
You wouldn't play a horror game to be tortured.
Some people
Don't
like
see
that.
the
Some
point.
people really enjoy the jolt of adrenaline that they get when playing a horror game.
When I rise to power, those people will be killed.
It's like whenever someone's like, we want to go see a scary movie. Like, you want to see the scary movie because like it's thrilling, you know? And it's the same with the scary game.
I do not want to see the scary movie.
I'm not a fan of either. So,
really
but I understand the mentality behind it.
Yeah. Some people get the rush, as you say.
Yeah.
from
Go
it.
jump out of a plane then or something. Like, no.
Well, it's cheaper to just watch a movie.
Yeah,
Not play a game.
I would actually quite like to go skydiving. That would be awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can we live stream it?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you play the Switch on the way down? We have to link it.
I also would love to go
Strap to the
skydiving,
wrist.
but there was a video that my little brother took when he was doing like a trek across Australia. They're kind of like driving around,
Yeah, nice.
and so he's living in a caravan, so obviously like he wasn't getting the shower as much as he would. And anyway, he was pretty scraggly, and he was like, we were watching the video of him skydiving, and down he goes, and then he lands, and his hair is just up, it's just staying there.
I remember, this is really random, but Dave Noonan, you guys know Dave or heard of Dave Noonan?
Yeah.
The radio
Yeah,
guy. He, for some reason, jumped out nude. Like, first time skydiving, did it naked on the radio show live.
On a radio show. I mean, that's what.
And
You
it
hear
landed
just,
at
like,
Cornelia
slapping
Bay.
against his thigh on the way
And
down.
that's it, yeah. He's like, the most uncomfortable thing was just as the old fella just slapped between the legs.
Wouldn't you be worried that like a pelican would come and just scoop it off or something?
I'm terrified of pelicans, so
Yeah.
I'm always on the lookout for pelicans.
When you're going nude skydiving, you should do.
That's right. Pelicans are terrifying. Have you seen the things they try and eat?
Yeah, literally anything.
Dude, it's
They got
Can't
so
say I've
much
been-
space. Like
But
it's
I've
like a
never
car
been
boot.
terrified of them, though. They don't.
no. See, this
I've
is
never
a,
seen a vicious one.
this is a childhood trauma.
Someone ate a pigeon.
We went up the East Coast on a family trip when I was younger, and there were pelicans on a beach or whatever we were at. I think it was like some kind of nature park. Anyway, one of them started to chase me. Slowly at first, then it picked up steam. And like a dog, if you run, it's like,
chase.
oh,
Yeah,
It's a
sweet.
fun game.
Yeah. Mum and Dad didn't save me. They laughed.
So it was only like when you were halfway down the pelican's gullet. They're like, I guess we
Just
should do
hand
something.
waving out.
So ever since, and the thing is, Mum loves pelicans. So the house and the garden, I will never forget it. I went there for a barbecue and she got this awful metal sculpture of a pelican, like a life-size thing.
Yeah.
For the vegetable garden or
See,
something.
because like when you were
It's like-
running and screaming away from the pelican, and you heard your mum going, "That's my boy," she wasn't talking about you.
Is that when her love of pelicans started?
But I just shit myself. I walked around the corner in their backyard
Yeah.
and saw a pelican in the veggie garden.
Ah.
It's
And I was
incredible.
like, yeah. But it's all right.
It's
I'm,
okay.
I'm in counselling.
So if we can
now.
find some pelican-based gameplay.
Good luck.
What if you modded in like the zombies in Outlast to be just big pelicans?
Yeah, I wouldn't play that.
As you're trying to jump over the guy in the wheelchair, it just opens up.
Yeah, it's hard enough. It's hard enough to play Outlast as it is. It's not even that the games are good, like Outlast. It's not a good game.
Oh, see, I think you have to see how well your 3090 can crank it up on your big monitor.
No, it's
See,
too immersive.
Outlast was an independent project made by a couple of, well, I don't know how many, but a few guys splintered off from Ubisoft and went and made that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they wanted to make the game that they wanted to play, and they were tired of making Assassin's
Sickos.
Creed and stuff, I guess, and they just kind of, it was an independent venture, and it did really well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, there's
We
a
should-
second one, right?
Yeah, there's a second one. I think there might also be some DLC, and
Oh, Josh should
Yeah.
definitely check that out.
Yeah, no.
but we
Even though Nick will listen to this
Stream
and
it.
he'll go, oh, I'm going to gift it to him.
Although in terms of like actual horror games, I really think it'd be fun for us to play like one of the Silent Hills, one of the classics, like 2 or 3 or something like that. Just because they aren't jump scare games, they're more like the atmosphere is bizarre and everything's weird, and that kind of like a psychological horror more so than like a
yeah, see, that sort of stuff I like. Like I can get around like psychological horror movies and games and stuff like that. I don't like outright jump scares or gore and stuff like that. But the stuff that makes you kind of just go, what the, like, that's cool.
Because like Silent Hill had like this nice kind of mix between creepy atmosphere, psychedelic imagery, a bit of gore here and there, but nothing like, but more like just sort of you walk into a room and it's a mess. You're like, what the hell happened here? And just like there's a mystery that you're unraveling, and there's like crazy imagery going on. The sound design is top notch, like really weird sounds.
Silent Hill.
Yeah.
That's early PlayStation days, wasn't it?
Yeah, like PS1. Like, I don't know whether you guys have played my favorite kinds of those games. Like I played Soma and Observer in the last like 12 to 18 months. And they're very much in that kind of wheelhouse where it's like, this is just really unsettling, and like kind of like when you're thinking about like what they're putting on screen for you and what you're playing through, like it just kind of made me sit there and go, oh, this just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I've been eyeing off Soma actually. That was one of the games.
It's the only one I've heard of the two that you mentioned.
Yeah, I was thinking of taking that for the Halloween stream, but Lauren said it wouldn't be very good for streaming like in a short burst like that.
I don't think anything we streamed that night was good for streaming.
What do you mean?
You end up playing like some Stickman fighting game. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, nothing was installed before we started streaming, so.
But the decorations were on point.
The massive pointy finger was epic.
Just back to your PlayStation, bro, the new one, PS5. Does it fit in any cabinet that you own?
Yeah, actually.
Wow.
So
this is a common complaint I see.
What's that?
It's a common complaint I've seen that they're just massive.
Yeah, so like ours has like two just normal, like your kind of old school VCR size type areas in the middle, so that's fine. But like the Xbox Series X does not fit in that because of its weird
wide.
Yeah, so the PS5 is really big, like it's really deep and it's really tall, but it's still kind of the same sort of thickness as like a standard console.
Yeah,
but the Series X is like it's like a mini fridge, right? Like that was the joke.
Yeah.
So that doesn't fit in that little thing I've got. Like it's short enough to fit like horizontally, but it's too high, so that won't fit. So that's sitting next to my TV at the moment.
Yeah, right.
How big is the PlayStation 5 compared to the PlayStation 3? Like the original, like that George Foreman grill-esque.
The original
PlayStation
one?
3. Yeah.
Would you like me to take a photo of the two next to each other so you can see? Because I still have my PS3. That's the George Foreman style one.
Yeah, sure. Send them to me after the podcast. I'd be interested to see like a size comparison.
Apparently it puts it to shame is what I heard. But
yeah, it's
in a
pretty
good way or a
big.
bad way?
yeah. Like the 5's bigger than the 3.
Really?
Yeah, the 5's like you would have seen the fins that are kind of on it. Like it comes with this little stand that you have to like stick underneath it, and it's got these weird angles to get it right. So you've got to line it up in the middle at the back, and it's got these two little kind of it's got the cross square triangle circle indented in the back, and you've got to line it up with the two circle bits. And if you don't get that right, it's really off kilter too, because it's also heavy. Right. So if you don't get that right, it doesn't sit flat.
Because they went for a more traditional cooling method this time around.
I can officially say I have no idea about that, but
it's got a big pass-through fan, similar, Dave, you'd know, to the 3000 series graphics cards at the tail end.
Which one are you talking? Which console are you talking about?
The PS5, but the cooling solution is just one fan, two fans, literally next to each other, but with like PCB and stuff in the middle.
It's nothing amazing.
Yeah, whereas Xbox is smaller. Well, it's supposed to be smaller because they're still trying to get fancy with their cooling.
Remember when people were like blowing vape smoke through their Xbox and they were saying it was catching fire?
Yeah, like Microsoft literally had to come out and say, thought we didn't have to say this, but turns out we do.
Please do not put vape smoke in your Xbox.
Because I think it's like a chamber-cooled thing, like a Mac, that brick Mac thing.
Yeah, I think so. That
they're using for the Xbox. I honestly, if I was lucky enough to get my hands on one at launch, I would not even risk vaping through it. Like,
what about just taking it
not
apart?
with like some.
Oh, taking apart, like, yeah, if you're a tech tuber, though, you're
getting a free one.
You're getting a free one or something like
and
that.
that's just money. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
It's like people that drop
Cash check.
iPhones or start down stairwells
Yeah.
just to see if it breaks.
The money that they get from the views on that would
To cover the cost of
negate
the
the cost of the phone, yeah.
But also with the PlayStation, good guy Sony this time around are allowing for fairly agnostic upgrade
storage
for storage,
yeah.
M.2
Whereas
drive.
The Xbox, you've got to buy the special little.
Yeah, the Xbox, you've
the
got to
little
get,
memory card.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to get a memory card? For
Yeah,
the
yeah.
X?
Yeah.
Oh, my
It
God.
reminds you
It's
of
like a memory card.
PlayStations.
The Xbox One, you could just plug. Well, it was a replaceable hard drive, or you could plug in like USB 3 was almost fast enough.
So they kind of. I remember when the Xbox 360 had like that dumb like plug-in hard drive. Like you would just buy the separate hard drives and like hook them
and
into
attached to the top, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, the
Because
little
a PS3,
clip-in
you
thing.
can just change the hard drive.
Yeah.
You can just put in an SSD if you want.
Yeah. So Sony, but this is in addition to the internal
Yeah,
storage.
it's got
You're
an
not even
actual slot.
replacing.
It's got an actual slot you can
But it's
plug
not
in.
upgrade. It's not activated yet.
No.
Yeah,
it's got an
that's what I was going to say. I heard that
Yeah.
there's, like at the moment you can't actually put in additional storage, but it's on the way.
Yeah, because the one downside to all these, all two of them, new consoles, is still hard drive space.
Oh yeah, like I think I've almost filled my PS5 already, just like downloading some PS4 stuff to see how it runs, and yeah,
Yeah,
How much
because
space
it's
is
terabyte.
it's like an 825 or something,
Yeah.
I think, and then like the 160 is taken up by the operating system, I think.
Yeah,
Something like that.
It's nuts. It's just, I mean, storage still isn't cheap if it's solid state, but it's cheaper.
It's getting cheaper.
Like you're already paying $700-800 for the console, even an extra terabyte, because the example people use is Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that's like 250.
Just like,
something
so you
insane.
could put that and maybe two other AAA titles
Yeah.
on there or something.
Yeah, this is the same issue that I had with the last generation as well. The hard drives aren't big
Yeah.
enough. And it's stupid that they're particularly now that they're pushing like digital only. Like I think there's a version of the PlayStation that doesn't have a disk drive.
Same with the Xbox.
So if you
Yeah.
want to play your stuff, you got to delete this thing and then go like, well, that's 400 gigs or whatever that I need to download at a later date if I want to play this again, instead of being able to just like, whack in a DVD or
Yeah.
a Blu-ray, and just kind of like watching it slowly install. The fact that everything has to go off the storage device onto your machine already is a hassle in itself. Just because of how consoles work, and they're meant to be like, the discs are meant to be interchangeable. So you've just got a big library, but it's not really that anymore. It's just you've got a big lot of licenses that you download.
Well, yeah, don't the discs basically like act as just DRM these days? Don't they? They just
Essentially, yeah.
trail
Yeah.
and you run it.
Yep.
Like you literally go into EB now, and if you bought a modern game for PC, not that they sell many anymore, some of those cases are just empty. There's no disc in it. You're literally buying a full CD case, thinking there's a CD or DVD in it. It's just a key. It says go to this website, put the key in.
I think the last game I bought from, like the last PC game I bought from a retailer was in fact Anthem. And that did just have, like, it was just a case. And you open the case and it's nothing. And I bought it specifically from the shop because I was on really shitty internet at the time, and I went, I don't want to have to download this whole thing. I'll go and buy the disc, whatever.
I'm still on shitty internet.
And I got the disc and I opened it. It's like, you bastards.
Just one more thing about the consoles. We mentioned the discless version. I think PlayStation didn't cut down anything else.
No, they didn't.
No, so the
Same console.
Yeah, the discless one can still do all the 4K and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft, for some bizarre reason, took out I think there's a discless version, but it's also cut down hardware. And
It's got less storage.
Is that
it's
the-
got
is that the
it's
S?
only- Yeah, it's got 512 instead of
why
a
would you
terabyte.
have less
So it's got
storage in
less
your
storage.
digital only console?
Yeah, and it can't play 4K.
And it can't do 4K and
they
stuff
don't
like
want you
that.
to
Like
buy
capped
that
out
one.
at
Pretty much, it's,
440,
they're trying
or
to
something.
push you up to
Yeah,
the
they're
other one.
trying
Yeah.
to trick you.
Yeah, it was 1440.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Um,
For all those
Which again is
Can I come
not
in-
a common resolution on
not
TVs.
for, not for a console, no.
No.
Like, unless you're buying you've got a PC.
Maybe that's the
model.
one they want, like PC players to just sit on their desk.
Microsoft don't know what they're doing. They clearly just want to make PCs.
Yeah, at this point, just rename it
Yeah.
Xbox PC.
I cannot believe that it is just called like the Xbox Series X, by the way. Like,
Considering it came on hot on the heels of what Xbox One.
Yeah,
X.
I was having enough trouble dealing with like, it was called the Xbox. Now it's called the Xbox One, but the original Xbox, you can't call that the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Like you would say the PlayStation One because it's just the original Xbox. Now.
This is the same company that brought you Windows 3, 3.1, 95 XP,
3.11.
Vista, 3.11,
I swear-
3.1 for workgroups.
I swear that they just go like, all right, what should we call the new Xbox? And they put it into a name generator and they just pick the first thing and like, all right, Xbox Series X.
No, they've got a hat and it's got 2 words in it. Xbox.
We got the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X, but now we've got the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series S X. Good Lord.
I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people that ended up with Xbox One X's on Xbox Series X launch day because they ordered the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I bet.
A guy that one of the managers I went to on this Northwest trip with,
He did it?
he's like, "Oh, you want to play? You want an Xbox?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "It's brand new." I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, I was quite drunk and
That's always a
thought I was getting a bargain because he was
Yep, checks
paying. It was obviously cheaper." And he just misread it and ordered himself just an ordinary
I bet it was
Xbox
cheaper.
One X. Yeah. And it arrived and he's like, why are people complaining about availability?
Then he looked at it.
Was he still drunk when it arrived?
So yeah, and yeah, of course, the internet was just awash with people who just wouldn't read. But again, yeah,
How
it is
unusual for the
confusing.
internet.
Oh, I know, yeah, the internet, yeah.
I mean, we've all made that drunk purchase before, but like, they've really made it easy to make that drunk
Yes.
purchase.
You know what I used to buy when I was drinking or drunk and I was in front of the computer?
Additional alcohol?
Domain names.
Oh.
Because
How'd that go for you?
Because back then, or even now, if you have the right domain name and someone wants it bad enough, you can make like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You can be like a domain troll or something.
Yeah. So I would just go, oh yeah, I can think of interesting words and see if they're real and just buy the domain name.
So give us a couple of examples.
What have you got? What's in your portfolio?
I've still got a couple of dozen that I keep. But
Come on, Dish.
I'm trying to think.
You don't even know what they are.
Like I would get ones where it was slightly like I've got Microboft.
Okay.
Like, so if you mistype Google and put an extra O in there,
Sure.
it redirects to Google. They bought the domain. So I
You're
thought,
hoping someone will
that's the place to start.
type in
If someone wants to go to
Microsoft.
Microsoft.com.
Why is it not redirecting to NCD? Come on now.
Well, I know, yeah, I should redirect them all to Neon City
Yeah.
Daily. Yeah, like if you type in the wrong domain name, you know.
How do you have any metrics on how many people have accidentally typed in
Oh,
Microsoft?
no. I could probably pull it up. I'll pull it up for next week.
Okay.
You do love a
Because
metric.
it's been a while since I've looked at
Yeah.
them. And I've got like 3 that I actually use.
What else you got? It's got to be another good one. In there.
I got Gaggle, which I thought was either good for maybe something pornographic or Google pronounced wrong.
You should make that the Premier Goose website.
I know I've heard the word gaggle before. but-
Gaggle of geese.
Right, okay. Not porn.
No.
Nope. Oh.
Sorry.
Well, Russia might want to make geese porn or something.
Now that you've said it, it exists.
Oh, absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
you could just have like a goose themed shop, gaggle.com. That's really good actually. You got just like a whole bunch of like cute Etsy shit that's just got like
Geese all over.
like just geese, like fridge magnets, placemats, like little aprons, stuff like
Doilies.
that. Yeah, really cute shit.
I used to buy domains that were similar in name to the place I was working at the time.
Okay.
So like Intuit Technologies. I have Inuit Technologies.
The
different.
Eskimo
Yeah,
test is strong.
Get some sweet igloos out in here.
Snow tech.
I'll pull up a list because I look back on it and go, what were you thinking? Like,
Well, you weren't because you were drunk.
Yeah, I can just see you like beard hanger like, Inuit Technologies. No one's got it. It's mine.
and then what, 10, 15 years? No one has ever approached me.
I think so.
One day.
I actually had a similar thing where I was looking for a domain name, kind of like for like a personal website, and I've got this website. I think it's just called like Jamie Arts. I don't know what website I bought it on. I'm pretty sure it's HostGator, but I can't find the information for it anywhere.
No.
I'm almost certain that it is like constantly re-upping. I thought I lost it, but I got another email saying that I had it or something. So I don't know. Someone did approach me asking to buy it at one point. I just completely ignored them. So I was like, I
come
still
on,
have
man.
that? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's mine.
It's like people that lose the passwords to their Bitcoin accounts, and then Bitcoin suddenly was worth like topped out at 32,000, I think, or something.
Yeah.
For one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like Todd over the road here, who I used to work with, he used to pay like 10 Bitcoin a month for a TeamSpeak server.
I bet he doesn't regret that at all.
No, that's right, yeah. But he had like 4 of them left.
Yeah.
And it was it was a whole thing in our lunchtime and after work and stuff. We would help him try and get back into his digital wallet because he couldn't remember them.
No.
But he got in eventually.
nice.
Got in. And when you leave, you'll see that massive like triple car garage that he's got there, paid for with Bitcoin. But yeah, he would have had hundreds.
Yeah.
Like for a year or two, he was just using Bitcoin because back then it was really niche. Who would let you use Bitcoin as a currency?
I don't like to look back at past mistakes because I find that that's just the road to ruin. But I really do wish that I had continued on actually looking at how to mine Bitcoins because I kind of started. I was like, oh yeah, let's do this, and I kind of went through a couple of things. Went like, I'll come back to it later. I just never did.
Yeah,
And it was just one of those things where it's like, if I had been a little less ADHD about this, I could have had maybe like a couple of $100.
The PC market, they drove up prices.
Oh yeah,
Big
graphics
time.
card prices just.
Yeah, because
And
you
like-
mine them with graphics. Like Bitcoin itself, the original Bitcoin is not really feasible to mine anymore.
Not anymore. It used to be.
Yeah, the amount of money you would pay in power, hardware,
Yeah.
and stuff
chain
like
is too
that,
long
it
now
would
to
take
actually
you
get
decades to make
Yeah.
your money back.
Yeah.
But then all these baby little currencies came out that every man and his dog started
Yeah, everyone
creating.
was
and,
mining everything.
but then people would realise that there's no money in it.
Nah.
Like,
Not unless you got free power.
Your dog
No,
just
that's
opened
right.
the door.
oh, damn it, Winter! Need to teach you how to close it.
Yes,
The
continue.
dog has completely thrown me off.
She's just giving you those eyes.
But yeah, like unless you got in early and you had the original Bitcoin.
Yeah.
it's
Or
not
you
like
sold
that.
graphics cards to people.
But yeah, but then so because every man and his dog wanted to get in on the action,
Yeah.
they would buy up all these hardware and they go to Kmart and buy the wire cage shelving,
Yeah.
and they would just stack them full of graphics cards.
Yeah.
And then even in Tassie, like local PC buy
Yeah,
and
there
sell
was,
groups.
there was a huge drought for graphics card for a while.
But then it just they flooded the market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
second-hand
they,
cards
they're like,
everywhere.
oh, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And there would just be like hundreds of cards. Like,
AMD particularly.
Yeah.
Like their cards
Yeah.
were really good at mining. And there was
I see.
so yeah, we'll just have to figure out. Obviously, domain names hasn't worked out as a money making venture.
this
You
podcast.
got to go for something a bit more ambitious than
Yeah.
Gaggle, I suppose.
Does Gaggle not sound pornographic? Like,
No.
because we know of a gaggle of
Gag-
geese.
yeah,
so it
so-
really doesn't.
Gaggle of chicks? No.
Maybe I mean the emphasis on the gag. I don't know. People
Yeah,
like
well,
weird
Like,
stuff.
yeah.
have you ever said that girl's gaggling? Like, you don't. It's not a thing.
We could make it a thing.
I don't.
no.
Be the tagline of Nick's series that he wants to get off the ground.
That's not fair to tempt him when he's not here.
Yeah. And on that note, guys, I think we should probably wind it up.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody, and thank you, Brody, for being our esteemed guest today.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It was good fun.
No,
Yeah.
hopefully we haven't scared you off. We'll have to get you back on again
When the Xbox has games.
when the Xbox has games.
Yeah.
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 And
Absolutely.
once Nick's back, we might all get on and do our first 5-man podcast.
For sure.
Bit of
If
house.
you have me. for
Yeah,
sure.
of course. Bit of housekeeping. I should have done this at the start, but this episode was sponsored by Modern Musician and Kingless. Or 219, sorry. And you can go to kinglessgame.com and pre-order their extremely successful Kickstarter backed game. We've played it. We liked it.
It was fun.
There's a trailer up on the site at the moment or on our social media. We are Neon City Daily on all platforms other than Twitter.
With a 1 on Twitter.
Which has a 1 at the end.
Best.
Speaking of,
Because we're number one.
yeah, maybe we can buy the Neon City Daily from the person who has it.
Yeah, the Twitter handle.
We can
yeah.
swap them for Gaggle.
We should.
Gaggle.com if you give me Neon City Daily on Twitter.
And of course, we recently just settled on a date for our Christmas stream. So that comes with a host of giveaways from the likes of Steam, Ubisoft, EA, City Project Red, Kingless, Smash Attack Studios, Myriad Games. So from international to local, everyone's getting on board and providing some good prizes
We'll
for that.
provide
So
quality content.
yeah, we'll bring the prize. Well, Santa/Nick will bring the prizes. We will bring questionable streaming of games.
Well, how could maybe for you? I'm going to bring quality.
I promise to be more organised than the Halloween one.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for joining me, everybody. And we are out of here.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Later.
Bye, still Dave.